Well, it's Monday, time to propose a mythical bill, the single-point solution that if I was a member of Congress, I might put forward. One bill, one issue, on one page, because it's not that hard. The salary of a U.S. congressman is $174,000 a year. The people who make laws that govern our nation, who are elected to be part of, by and for the people, I should say, make more than 3 times the average American who clocks in around $55,000 a year. And if you're not mad yet, hold on to your hats.
My fear is that the whole island will become so overly populated that it will tip over and capsize.
We don't anticipate that.
He's still in Congress. That guy who thinks the island, which is in fact fastened to the Earth's crust because it's part of it, it's not floating. He thinks it'll capsize, and that guy makes 3 times more than the average American. So if I was a member of Congress, I might propose a bill that would make the annual salary of members of Congress exactly what the median income of the country is. Give them barrack-style housing options in D.C., like officers in the military, at no cost. Their travel to and from their district's already covered, so it seems fair. Watch all these big-time liberal socialists become capitalists overnight. Mark my words. Oh, also, I would completely do away with all the retirement packages for Congress, given that this was never supposed to be a lifelong career. The annual payroll for our congressmen is over $93 million, and that's not including the benefits. That's just payroll. Slash that to the median salary, takes you down to under $30 million a year. Big savings for the American people. And I can't think of a better way to ground a body that has an approval rating like 16% right now. Joining me now for more, former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee. Sir, what do you think about making congressmen have the median income?
First of all, I got to tell you, I almost just spewed when you were playing that Hank Johnson video again. The first time I saw it, honestly, I thought it was a Saturday Night Live sketch. That's got to be one of the most ridiculous moments in the entire history of Congress. But there is a 2-word solution to how we could fix a lot of this: term limits. Nobody should go to the House or Senate and stay for a career. There ought to be maybe 12 years total. It could be less. 2 6-year terms for senators, which, by the way, I think we ought to repeal the 17th Amendment. It was a huge mistake. It was done just a little over 100 years ago. Most Americans don't even know about it. The fact that senators were originally appointed by their state legislatures, and they were not elected by the popular vote of the people. And there was a good reason the founders had it that way. But if we had term limits, even if we paid them $174,000, they wouldn't be there forever finding out other ways to end up becoming millionaires on a $174,000 a year salary. So let's hope that happens. And I, for one, would love to see an absolute limit on how many years a person can serve. We do it on the executive branch. Somebody explain how come we don't do it in the legislative branch or the judicial branch, for that matter. And
some people do it in like governorships, which you know all about, sir. But Congress right now, their approval rating is 16%.
Yes.
I mean, Joe Biden's ain't much better. ABC George Stephanopoulos perfectly summed up this new poll with Biden's numbers. Look at this.
President Biden pushing back on questions about his age from Stephanie Ruhle as he bids for re-election. It's just one of the big challenges he faces now, more revealed by our brand new poll. Political director Rick Klein here to break it down. And Rick, this poll is just brutal for President Biden.
Ooh, 36% approval, 56% disapprove. Can you get re-elected on that, sir?
No, you can't. If you're under even 43%, basically under 50, but if you're under 43%, you're probably gone. At 36%, you're toast. And you're buttered on both sides. I mean, that's where Joe Biden is. I do have to wonder, Carl, who in the heck are those 36%? I mean, who honestly listens to a speech he makes or sees a policy that is implemented and says, gee, I'd love another 4 years of this. I cannot imagine what those people do every day to wake up and think he's doing a great job.
Well, they're the same people that are saying that, that are saying that he would beat Trump. But right now, Biden versus Trump puts Trump at 44% to Biden's 38%. And I think of that 38%, Governor, is just people not voting for Trump. But, we'll see. I want to get to Mitch McConnell on CNN. He said, we do have the possibility of screwing this up, and that gets back to the candidate recruitment. I think that we lost Georgia, Arizona, and New Hampshire because we didn't have competitive candidates. You know competitive candidates when you see them. This is actually a big thing, but also the people who win primaries aren't always the best general component, are they?
Not always, but I think Republicans need to start getting behind the people that the Republican voters support. You know, there are times that I support a candidate, he doesn't win the primary, but it's always been my attitude that the worst of our candidates will probably be better than the best of the candidates who believe we ought to end the life of an unborn child up until birth, that we ought to open the borders, that we ought to surrender to China, that we ought to create inflation and have this phony argument for green climate control that only adds cost to the working class people. So if my choice is even the less best Republican and a crazy Democrat, I'll go ahead and support that Republican. And I think a lot of Republicans need to take one for the team. And if their guy doesn't get the nomination, get out there and get that person elected. And a lot of times we don't do that because we get our feelings hurt. Yeah. And I think that's just something we're going to have to get over.
Yeah, well, I agree with that sentiment, sir. Tucker Carlson now saying he's going to go nuclear on Fox. He's going scorched earth, apparently. What in the world do you think he's got up his sleeve?
Gosh, I don't know. The one thing that kind of tempers my thought on this story is that it came from Axios, and I just don't know how reliable it makes it, or whether Tucker Carlson would actually talk to them. Now, if Newsmax was the source, I'd probably say, oh, that's legit. But the fact that it's Axios, I'm just not sure that I'm saying, oh, yeah, this story is 100% reliable. But here's Tucker's challenge. He's got to get out of that contract because he still has 2 years on it. It would take him all the way to January of 2025 through the election cycle. But he's got some smart lawyers. My guess is they'll figure a way to get out from under that, and then it's going to be fun to watch. Pop the popcorn, get a soft drink in your lap, and it's going to be something to see.
I can't imagine a liberal news outlet would ever lie to us, Governor, but we appreciate you being here, sir.